everyone, my name is Marisa Snider. I am Lakota, a Native technologist, and I'm here today to discuss why technology is needed on the reservations and how that impacts our communities. When I first left the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in the fall of 2014, I did it so I could study computer science. I was accepted to a small institution in Berea, Kentucky, and it was there that I faced a variety of different challenges, each of which impacted me greatly. Upon my arrival, however, people viewed me through a stereotypical lens. They commented on my indigenous identity. Some of this commentary included, "I don't know why you came here. Don't you people get free tuition or scholarships?" The arrogance that these people had towards these issues made me feel very alienated from my peers, making the first few months very difficult. So on September 23rd, I sat outside my advisor's office with the intent to withdraw from the college. I felt that I had no support within the computer science community, and the combination of my growing estrangement made me feel like I did not belong there. While I waited, however, I noticed an article on a nearby table that had information about the statistics within the tech industry. As I leafed through it, an article titled, "Diversity Data Shows Need to Focus on Women of Color" caught my attention. In that article, it explained that the number of women in computing had fallen from 35% in 1990 to just 26% today. That number was even lower for women of color. Black women make up just 3%. Hispanic women hold just 1%. And Native American women make up 0.01, just a fraction of a percent. I sat there for a moment, a fire burning deep inside of me. It was then that I understood that I had to stay. I was more than 0.01%. So when I think about why technology is important and why those numbers are so low, especially in areas of poverty and low unemployment, I narrow it down to two different questions. The first question is, does the population have adequate access to technology? Well, the answer to that question is no. If you ever come to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, you notice the difference between access and exclusion. For example, in their 2015 report, the Federal Communications Commission found that 63% of residents on tribal lands lacked fixed broadband, in comparison to just 17% of the entire population of the United States. On reservations, 85%, that's 1.7 million people, lacked fixed broadband services, a rate that's lower than in some developing countries. In addition to this, there is no public access to computer equipment. The poor infrastructure makes most broadband services too expensive for families. And even if some families have those services, it does not sustain the few on those systems. The second question is, can the population use technology for critical thinking? Well, again, the answer is no. Lack of technological insight can be defined as a disability in contemporary culture. If there is no access to both basic and advanced technology, then the population cannot use any of the benefits that come with it. But it's important to think about what those benefits are. Statistics taken from the American Indian Policy Institute have shown that communities with less access to technology are disadvantaged in the following areas. The first is educational resources. More broadband access could increase college enrollment by having online classes. It could also result in greater participation of young Native women in STEM fields if they had access to online workshops or coding boot camps. The second is economy. Telecommunication capabilities are necessary to create a skilled workforce in Native American communities, as well as increase economic and business investments. The third is civic participation. Because Native Americans do not make up a large portion of the United States population, many problems on the reservation often go unnoticed. If more access to technology was given, it could enhance communication between organizations. It could expand availability of resource opportunities. It could increase technological literacy. It could provide a cultural vehicle for cultural education. And it could produce more participants in intertribal politics. The last and one of the most important is justice. Without internet access, Native Americans cannot disseminate government information, nor can they access public information like government databases on health or safety. Another example of this is the Department of Interior, which encompasses the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Most of their documents and resources are online, but how are you supposed to access those? Besides the technological divide, absence within these spaces can bring negative viewpoints of Native Americans in modern culture. For example, on September 23rd, 1982, the video game Custers Revenge was released. It quickly gained notoriety for its objectification and portrayal of sexual assault against a Native woman, the only goal within the game. Another facet of why we need technology in our societies is so that we can have a voice and self-determine who we are, how we are represented. It must be a priority in the nation to provide internet resources and computer equipment to those living on Native American reservations. I lived most of my life on reservations, and understanding how isolated they are from the rest of the world is very difficult to explain. When I left to attend school, there was this loneliness that stemmed from inside me because I walked into different worlds. My community has always been isolated, but the lack of technology disconnects us even more. 0.01 is just a fraction of a percent, but it does not equate the value of what my community means to me. Thank you.